Okay. 9 p.m. is hit.
Oh, fun.
There's one person waiting. It's me. Testing the chat. 1, 2. Okay. Muting that. Getting rid of the cam. Okay. Check 1, 2. Checking and sound check. 1, 2. I know I'm good. Hello? Check.
Hello?
1, 2. Okay. Muting that. Getting rid of the cam.
Hello?
Okay. Check 1, 2. Checking and sound check. 1, 2. I know I'm good. Hello? Check.
Hello?
1. Okay. We're good. Sound check passed.
Give me a second.
1.
Public gaming category.
1. 1. 1. 1. One. I'm looking through the end of the year deals. If you missed, Black Friday is over. It's all over. There is no more Black Friday deals. No more PlayStation Plus.
Why is it not streaming?
But we are here to start the podcast. And it's recording. So it should probably start.
Go.
Are you ready?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Just go ahead.
Fuck it. I think so. Hold on to see my.
You know what day it is today,
Yeah,
Pietro?
it's the hump
It's the
days.
hump day, and that means that we're gonna do a
Oh
podcast.
fucking shit.
And it's officially on YouTube, which means it is saved for all time and watchable, well, listenable. I'm not gonna put my ugly mug on the podcast anymore. It's just gonna be straight, mostly for audio purposes, just to listen to, to chill to. I'm one of your hosts, the Era Thizzle, formerly of Twitch. I'm just kidding. Still on Twitch, but Twitch Era Thizzle. You can find me on Twitter at Era Thizzle, but I never go on there. So. And we
Yeah,
also
we are
have
live.
another person on the podcast who hasn't
Yeah, I'm Heat.
hasn't shown up yet. He's not here yet. He's still in his menus.
Yeah. I guess I'm always in my menus. I live in my menus.
He lives in his menus.
Why isn't?
He's still in his menus. So we'll just continue with the podcast. Today on the Hizzle Gaming Podcast, as it says, Game of the Year predictions. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to your GOTY. The only GOTYs that really matter are the ones that are coming on December 9th. Those are the best ones. Those are the GOTYs. Jeff Keighley, obviously, the Game Awards. I know there's other ones that are sort of more legit, but this one is like really like hardcore fanfare. And it's on December 9th. So if you want to watch it, there's going to be a lot of game trailers, things like that, things of that nature. And there's
Okay.
obviously some nominees. We'll go through the nominees, but we'll also talk briefly about who we think's going to win and who our pick would have been. You don't have to pick from the nominees if you don't want to. You can pick your own goddamn pick. I don't care. But we're going to predict at least who wins. And I will write it
Yeah.
down. I will keep track. And then when we come back, we will see who did better. So we'll do that. We'll go through We'll go through
Yes.
the end of the year deals on PlayStation Store. And real quickly, I don't think we'll do our normal recommendation. We'll just go through it quickly. And then we will talk about the PlayStation blog and what's going on with the monthly games that were announced for December. And also some bullshittery on the forums. There's always bullshittery on the forums. So now I'm just wondering, is Heater out of his menus yet?
I'm out of my menus because I stopped. My thing it decided it did not want to be working today, and it's too late to continue working on it. So.
Oh,
Woo.
okay.
And why did you open up Origin, you fucking piece of shit?
Origin will not allow you to close it.
No, it won't.
So if you missed it last week, Black Friday PlayStation deals, the best thing on there was the Plus subscription. It was $40 for a whole year of PlayStation Plus. That was the best thing on there. I mean, you could have got there were some big titles on there like Demon Souls and
Ratchet and Clank.
Returnal was on sale. Yep, Ratchet and Clank.
What's that other one?
Pretty much
The Sackboy
all the
game.
big name titles were on there.
Yeah, a lot of the big game titles were on sale. There's
but not anymore.
even on other like services like Steam and Microsoft, EA. They had a bunch of big sales going on. Like I know that on the EA Origin stuff, a lot of their games that are like always around the $40 price point were on sale for like $16. So
Yay. But there's nothing worth buying on the EA store. So that's unfortunate for them. Oh, man. So, the holidays, Thanksgiving. We got Black Friday, but now we're in the month of December. And PlayStation Store has the end of the year deals. It doesn't have any really big titles, like any of the new titles anymore. It's basically kind of like what you like games from last year around the same time that came out around this time a whole year ago or older. And so you've got your Watch Dogs, your Assassin's Creed. You can get I don't know.
Jurassic Park.
That's old. That's really old.
But it's on sale for $7.
Mm-hmm. You got Resident Evil 2 on there, and Judgment is on there. And
This Disciples game looks interesting. I just don't know anything about it. It was called like Disciples
this is super
Ascension
good.
or
This
something.
is a super good version of this game, Dragon Age Game of the Year edition. Yes. So there's nothing new in this sale. It's I would say this is also a super good deal. The Persona 5 Royal collection.
Spider-Man if you don't have it.
Spider-Man. Yes.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And just so anything that's more than a year old is probably in here. Like I said, there's 39 pages of fucking sales. Although a lot of these are some weird ass add-ons for some weird ass games. Like, I mean, some of these are some weird ass games, dude. Duck Souls. Beast Quest, Troll, Dynamite Fishing, Bird Game. You know you want all these. Just add them to your library now. Pikmin. Actually, that's Pink Man. Never mind. Pikmin. Pink Man. And I'm pretty sure if you're in here, if you're looking closely in here, you could find Hentai versus Evil.
You can also find that game on the Switch.
Is it on Switch, really?
It's on the Switch.
Interesting. Professor Rubik's Brain Fitness. That might actually be interesting. That's a weird game. But anyways, there's 39 pages. Let's see, how many on a page? Looks like 20. So basically about 700 or 800 games are on sale right now. So you can wade through that kind of on your own, but I'm going to say everything in here is pretty much more than a year old or older. And so, yeah. So, and it's also really not the time of year to be buying yourself shit, if you know what I mean. So, but it is a big sale, and is it going to last all the way through the end of the year? Question mark.
I don't know. That is called the end of the year sale, but that could change.
It ends, no, this sale ends 3 days before Christmas. So it's kind of really not a good time to be buying games for yourself. I guess if you get like a
Gift card or
gift
something.
card or something early, then you could get on the store. My guess is they're going to have another after Christmas sale for everyone to kind of spend their gift cards. So
that or a Christmas Day sale or something like that.
So yeah, it's not really a great sale. It's like, as far as how many games are on there, it's a lot, but it's not, there's nothing major that can't miss, I don't think, like the Black Friday. So I think the Black Friday stuff was, especially the PlayStation Plus, like 1 year code or whatever, that was really freaking good. Anything jump out at you? From this? That was a question for you. Hello?
Sorry, man. My headset just shut out. What? Say that again.
Are you on your laptop? You're having a lot of problems.
No. I'm not on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
My headset just sort of went boop on me.
Oh, I asked if there was anything, that you saw on this sale that jumped out at you.
On the current sale for the only one that looks like interesting to me, because I have no interest in what it is. It's called Disciples Liberation. It looks like it's a turn-based RPG.
Okay.
And I guess it's a hardcore turn-based RPG. I don't know. I mean, that's just what the description is. Valhalla, if no one has it, it's on a good sale right now. That's a good price for it. But nothing really is sticking out.
All right. Well, let's move over to the blog. They have
the blog.
PlayStation blog. They have announced. Actually, you know what? Let me click on this Black Friday deals and see if the link still works. No, it's gone. These are the games for December. Actually, in November, if you haven't downloaded the games yet, you should probably just mark them. Knockout City, Kingdoms of Amalur, and First Class Trouble were the November games. So this month, coming on December 7th, will be Godfall Challenger Edition, Lego DC Supervillains, and Mortal Shell.
Okay.
Little bit of drama with Godfall Challenger Edition. Apparently, They announced this edition of the game just for PlayStation Plus, um, which is basically going to skip the 50 levels and the entire story of the game, and that is not part of this deal. Um, it puts you straight into the end game, but it gives you all the DLC. So none of the story, which in Godfall is absolutely not even worth your time. So it's the DLC. Having played Godfall and platinuming the game and getting every single trophy, I will say that this is a much better deal than if they just gave the base game away. Because the base game would have just been the story, and you wouldn't even be able to play multiplayer or go into matchmaking or online until you hit level 50, which most people I don't think would ever do because it's so grindy. But in this version of the game, you're instantly level 50, and everything you play would be multiplayer pretty much. I mean, you would matchmake and play multiplayer, which is the best part of this game, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it. How they, kind of stripped the story content, didn't give the whole game, I guess, in quotes.
Yes, I mean, from what I played, it was okay, but it wasn't like spectacular. I mean, it feels like a game they could have released a lot earlier than they did, but they pushed it back just for the launch of the PS5.
Mm. Yeah, I think this game is really not doesn't really come into its own until you hit in game. Uh, it's the same as Avengers, really.
Hmm.
It's if you don't have your character leveled up and you don't have all the abilities unlocked, and you don't have you're not like actively trying to do certain things, like you know whether it's uh, getting a valor plate you like, or going after a particular style of play that you like. You're just mashing the button and swinging, your sword around or your hammer or whatever early on, and it's like you don't need to do that very long to learn enough to, you know. I think people who are actually going to play this game will appreciate the fact that it's allowing you to skip all that. And people who aren't going to play this game, they weren't going to play it anyways, because it
Yeah,
it
that is true.
it's a loot game. So either you're going to go for loot or you're not, right? Either you like the gameplay loop enough to play the end game, or you don't. And if you don't, then why do you care whether there was a story or not? You know what I mean? Like there's a story in the game, but it's like and you could still purchase the story, but I can see why some people are upset. But I also um, I was wondering like how they were going to do this, because like if all they did was give away the base game, then all the multiplayer and in-game stuff would have been missing. And that's like really, if you have a plus, if you're part of PlayStation Plus, that's like what you want is the multiplayer. It's
Yeah.
you don't care about the story mode of Godfall if you're a Plus subscriber, and you just want to play it with your friends that also have Plus. I get in
Plus, it
there.
makes no sense because when you're doing the story,
Mm-hmm.
and early in the game, they give you, it's like, okay, here's a new armor for you, but you're basically just playing as a different character altogether. Yet you're not. What is the name? The main dude's name is Orn, right, or something like that.
Well, that's who you play as. You're
But
just
when you switch to armor, you're not Orn anymore. You're a different fucking character.
you're the same guy. You're just in a different suit. like I said, the story doesn't make a lot of sense, and it doesn't really matter. It's like, and you can play with other people in the story content, but you have to invite them. There's no matchmaking for like level 1 story mission. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
matchmaking, like let's say you just get on here and you're like, I want to fucking matchmake with some random people. They don't even let you do that until you're maxed out. So you have to complete the entire story and hit level 50, which I completed the story and I was only level 34. So I still had 16 levels I had to grind before I could even matchmake, which is kind of bullshit. Like, honestly, why don't they? If they intended this game to be multiplayer and they're giving it away on Plus, then it makes sense to have this addition or this to change it up a little bit to make it a little bit more friendly for people who just kind of want to jump in and play it a few times. Um, and I think people who will like it will play the fuck out of it, and people who don't will just delete it like a few days after they install it, and that's no biggie. Like that's
This is one of those games where we always say it's gonna be a game you either hate or you don't hate. That's about it. There's no in between. There's not like, ah, it's okay. It's more like you either like it or you don't like it, or you just don't care.
and then another great like plus game because it's got you can play online is a Lego any Lego game really, but DC Super
Oh yeah,
Heroes. Yeah, and I don't know if Mortal Shell has. It says it's a single player RPG. I never even
it
heard of this shit.
is. So, Mortal Shell is Dark Souls esque, if I remember right.
Oh, let me enter my date of birth. I was born in 4545. Hitro.
Cool, works for me.
It's Dark Souls combat. It's third person. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's totally Dark Souls.
it looks a lot different though from what they showed at E3 like a few years ago.
I've on the
They showed
forums.
they showed this at E3 on the PC show like 3 years ago, and it looked like hot garbage at the time.
It doesn't look that bad, but
Back then, the
def
graphics were not this polished.
it doesn't look like
The,
Dark. It doesn't look. It definitely looks like Dark Souls though. So, anyways, I think that's a pretty good lineup. And then, of
oh
course,
yeah,
you could still grab all the VR games. They're still available for another whole month.
the Persistence and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and honestly, probably the best one is probably Until You Fall.
Yeah, Synthwave. It's a PSVR sword fighting game, and you
Yep.
need one
In
of
other
those.
words,
If you have a VR, you need one of those in your library. A sword fighting game.
also make sure you do put the wrist strap onto your fucking wrist.
I love how in the trailer they have this girl who probably never played this game ever. She like turns into the guy and like goes crazy. But yeah, you need a sword game and a gun game, and they give you both of those. And it's like, so like maybe you get VR for Christmas or something. I don't know. People are kind of overlooking it now that PS5s are the thing to get, kind of.
Yeah.
Um, but there you go. PlayStation Plus. Uh, I always I always think it's great because also 2 days after they do the Plus, they always do the PlayStation Now, and they always get like 3 games as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Um, Solar Ash, it hit today. Well, it hit tonight. It actually released 25 minutes ago. Got pretty good reviews, like 8 out of 10s. Um, but again, it's like it's the wrong time of year. I don't know why. Why do you think game companies are so? I know why they want to release around the holidays because they think that people buy games as gifts for other people. But games are a very personal thing. And like, unless you're buying one for your kid, like, you usually don't give a game to like another person. Like, and definitely not like a digital copy. You would never buy like a digital copy of a game for somebody. Um,
Oh yeah.
and so I don't know if it's like as big of a thing. I think kind of the February March time frame is bigger for games now, um, because that's when people get their tax returns and they buy for themselves. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Um, Dauntless, also a PS5 version of Dauntless hits tomorrow. Not that that's a big deal, but faster load times and all that shit if you decide to play that. Um,
Knockout City Season 4 starts December 7th.
um,
Ride UFOs. The
cool,
share of the week.
cool stuff, cool beans, cool burritos. Man,
My brain. Okay, so you could tell what kind of person I am when my brain instantly went to Batman vs Superman
yeah.
when I saw this a title, and it's on the plot. It's on the for November 23rd, 2021. The immersive gameplay of psychological thriller Martha is Dead.
Oh,
Martha.
it's weird. It's kind of
uh,
weird how they both have the same name. Oops. Uh, so that brings
nice.
us to the main topic of the day,
Yeah,
which
main topic.
which is gonna be like the 2021 Game Awards prediction and also our own picks for these categories. I like. I don't know how you feel about the game award shows. There's about 4 or 5 different ones. Some of them are only online. This one by Key League, though, is literally the best one, in my opinion. It has the backing of the sponsors and all the. If you watch it, it's mostly you're watching it for the game trailers, which are kind of the sponsors. It's kind of like mostly commercials and a few awards. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is. But
So,
that's how they have. But that's what they have to do to get it done.
if you don't mind, let's skip all of the esports bullshit. So 5 awards, we're just going to skip. I'm going to start with the most anticipated game presented by Prime Gaming. The nominees: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Zelda because it doesn't have a name, and Starfield. First off, who do you think's going to win? And
Most anticipated.
yeah,
Honestly, I'm fine with all these games. I want to say, in my heart of hearts, it's going to be God of War Ragnarok. But I have a feeling I could see Elden Ring taking it.
so is that your pick?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's make Elden Ring my pick. Even though I'm voting for God of War Ragnarok, but I got a feeling most anticipated is going to be Elden Ring.
So you don't. So your own personal pick. You don't have to pick from these. Do you have a most anticipated game that's not these 5, or is God of War your most anticipated?
Mine is God of War.
Yeah, so is mine, and I also think it's gonna win this. So that's what I'll put.
Okay.
For mine, I am most looking.
I just know all the hype factor this past 2 months about Elden Ring has, and I'm just like, oh man, that's been gaining a whole lot of traction recently because they released a bunch of that gameplay.
Oh yeah, I mean all the gaming outlets that got their hands on that are gonna vote for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and most of the voting apparatus for this award show are the journalists. They're not like, I mean, yeah, they take in the votes, from the website as well, but they also let the journalists have a big sway in who wins. So, I personally, I don't. I hope Elden Ring doesn't win over these other any of these other 4 games, except for Starfield, because I don't think it's even going to come out next year, even though they have a release date for it.
Very true.
All right, so next category: best
debut indie.
Yeah. Who's gonna take it out of the Artful Escape, Forgotten City, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, and Valheim? And then, of course, what's your personal pick?
I'm gonna choose Valheim.
You think Valheim's going to win the award?
Mm-hmm. And that's my personal pick also.
Okay. My personal pick is Kenna. That's the only game I actually played on this list. And it doesn't come off as an indie game. It's very, very well made.
Oh yeah, I know it's an indie game, but I don't know. I think I put way more time into Valheim than I did Kenna.
And I think it's like quality and I don't know what like just like the scope of the game and the quality of it compared to other indies is like insane. Like it's almost unbelievable that it's like their first game.
Yeah, I call it Pixar the game, remember?
Yeah. So
that they have to maintain that quality for games in the future is to maintain that Pixar look.
But do I think it will win this category? No. I don't think it's going to win.
I don't even think Valheim will win.
I'm gonna pick the Artful Escape here.
I don't know what that game is.
I don't either, but I just think
I was thinking maybe Sable might.
I just think that all these journalist types are gonna pick that. That is the winner for this.
Okay.
Everybody always talks about we need more indie studios. We need more, and nobody plays any of these games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the only indie game that I know people play is not really even an indie game, and that's that niche indie game that Liam's likes to play.
That's not an indie game, but that's gonna come up. That's gonna come up here shortly. Let's skip Content Creator of the Year because I really don't care. And that's not a game. Best multiplayer game. So we've got Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, A New World, and again, Valheim. Who's gonna win? And then your pick. And
See,
it doesn't have to be from this list either.
True. Well, out of this list, I am going to choose Ooh, I'm torn between two of them, but I'm gonna give it to It Takes Two.
You think that will win?
Uh, no, I don't think it's going to win. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, it is a forced multiplayer game, so anyone who plays it does have to play it in multiplayer. Because New World, even though it's a multiplayer game, you can play that game like a solo player, like a single player game. Monster Hunter Rise, I didn't even play it. Back for Blood, though? Okay, so best multiplayer is probably going to win. Is going to be Back for Blood. My personal vote is most likely going to be It Takes Two.
So you're picking Back for Blood. I'm going to pick Monster Hunter Rise here.
Okay.
Just because I think the Nintendo fanboys will outvote the rest of these games.
Okay.
But my personal pick is It Takes Two because it does. And it's so good. It's literally forces you to play multiplayer. You have no choice. And design-wise, that game is fucking amazing. Best sports game. And mostly racing games on this list besides FIFA.
Well, you already know which one I'm voting for.
Well, who do you think's gonna win?
I want Forza to win.
Well, that's who you want to win. Who do you think's going to win?
Forza.
I will also be a bitch and go with Forza. Because there's no way any of these other games beat out Forza. F1 2021. Come on. Seriously? Hot Wheels Unleashed. I mean, as good, as fun as Riders Republic is, it's not as polished as Forza.
The only fun thing in Riders Republic that I can truly say I enjoy about the Riders Republic game is the mass race of the fucking bullshit of that. Right?
Mm.
And the stunts. And that's about it. Oh, and the trick arena, you know, where it's like the PvP.
Yeah, I think it's cool that at any time on the map you can like see all these ghosts doing shit. That's cool. It's similar to the Drivatars in Forza, but it's bullshit. Like I said, it's not as polished as Forza. Like if you're talking about like polished, like Riders Republic is kind of like a let's do a bunch of shit and see what sticks. Okay. But my personal pick for this category would be 2K, because 2K is the best sports game, and it has been for a long time. It's been the bet. It has the most bang for your dollar. It also bangs you for your dollar at the same time.
Yes, it does. It likes to take all that money.
It's no different than any of these other fucking sports games, though.
Hey, listen, 2K is that niche sports game that is like that niche indie game.
It's not niche, dude. It's fucking huge. It's bigger than Forza.
I'm just saying that people like to spend money on it.
It's literally. This is the sale. This is the dollar amounts. It literally goes Genshin. I know you're talking about Genshin, but it literally goes Genshin, GTA, Call of Duty, and right in there at number 4 is 2K every month. So
yes, it is. All right.
Best sim strategy game.
Ooh.
Who's gonna win this one, dude? You got You got Age of Empires is up in that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little bit of Humankind, Flight Simulator. You got Evil Genius 2, and Inscription. But what would be your pick? And who do you think's gonna win it?
Alright, so my personal pick is going to be Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Your personal
Right.
pick. Okay.
I think it's a great sim game. It's very fun. I have a suspicion that Humankind might win.
Okay.
Because it's so similar to Civ. And Civ is like the champion out of this whole franchise kind of stuff, out of this category.
Okay.
So that's my choices.
I think my pick would be Flight Simulator as well, for my personal pick. Because, I mean, for me, it's the only game that's really trying to simulate anything out of all these. I know that says real-time or turn-based strategy. So, like, strategy games could also be in here. But I just don't think that, the RTS style of Age of Empires or anything is really strategy based.
Especially this Evil Genius 2 game. I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard of that game before.
But I think the Dark Horse is going to win this one. I think Inscription's going to win this game. This category. Okay. I'm gonna say it's going to win. Just because people like that card game stuff, and it's very unique. And if anybody's like, oh, I'm gonna vote strategy over sim, it's like they're gonna pick that one. But I don't know. That's a dark horse for me, so fuck it. I'll go dark horse in this category because I have no clue who's gonna win. Best family game.
Ooh. Best family game.
I know he's gonna win this one. I'll go first on this one since you've been going first. Mario Party's gonna win this. How can Mario Party not win best family game? It's not my pick, obviously, but I don't see how it can't win this category because it just screams family. Like,
my brain is telling me it's either going to be Mario, or Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
just because Pokemon is in there.
Mario in there, I forgot.
Yeah, and it's Super Mario 3D World too, which is like, ooh. Mario Party is literally the video game version of Monopoly. And that's true.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine for little kids and old people, and
it ruins friendships for old people. But yeah, I also agree with you. Mario Party is gonna take this one.
Like my own personal pick, like as far as like games that I play with my family, most of my family they're playing like Among Us or what's the other one? Shit, Terraria. But none of those came out this year. So I mean, technically Among Us barely came to console, so I guess you could say that one, but I mean, bottom line is, on Christmas Day, like, dude, you're with your family. What of these are you gonna play? Most, if any, it's gonna be Mario Party, right? Like, oh yeah.
Because that's the thing that you can play with more than one person,
don't play It
or
Takes
more than
Two
two.
with your family. That's just retarded.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a. Now the gameplay is fine. The story, not so much.
Yeah, the gameplay is. No, even the gameplay pits you against each other in several cases. Okay. It's antagonistic, and not in a fun way either. Best fighting game, yes, best fighting game. I don't play these games, so honestly, I don't know.
Don't play these either. I'm going to choose Nickelodeon All Stars because fuck it. That's literally the only thing I.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a favorite here. I'm
I
gonna
don't have
choose
one
Guilty
either.
Gear for the winner, and just fucking go with that. Next category. Again, I don't play fighting games. Fighting games are super niche. I don't even know why this is a category, honestly. But whatever. Best role playing game. Here we go. I love RPGs, and none of these. I have not touched any of these yet. So. I love the RPG genre, and I have not touched a single one of these games. Which is sad. That's very sad.
Okay.
In my opinion. It's like all these got nominated, and they were all 2021, and I didn't touch any of them, and that's sad. So, but I'll let you go first. Oh, I'll go first here, since I didn't touch any of these. I don't want to like get tainted by since you've actually played some of these. I think that Tales from Arise is going to win this. And my personal favorite RPG for 2021 was, by no means, none of these. It's got the goddamn DLC to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Fucking Yuffie. It's Yuffie, dude. That was the best fucking shit ever. But
Okay.
it wasn't a full game, so I guess it can't get nominated here. But I consider it the pinnacle.
I'm going to agree that Tales of Arise is most likely going to win.
Okay.
Though I got a feeling Monster Hunter Rise is going to be it's going to be a battle between those two, I think. Cyberpunk, you can't even put in the category because it has too much hate. That game should have been just removed just because. Scarlet Nexus is too action combat-y, in my opinion. I don't know Shin Megami Tensei 5. I've been seeing a lot of people play it recently, but I think, along with you, Tales of Arise. But for me, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay.
Because I got the PS5 version in March.
Oh,
Bam!
yeah, technically that game came out last year, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Next category. Best action adventure game. These are the ones I've played. Most of these. Except for Resident Evil and Metroid. Best action adventure game. Again, I'll go first here. I think we're gonna differ on this one. I think Metroid's gonna win this. Category. Do I think Metroid is a good game? No. I never thought Metroid was a good game. Do I think Metroid Dread was a good game? Probably not. No, I probably wouldn't enjoy it. Because I don't like to backtrack. Out of these 5, I think I enjoyed Ratchet the most. But as far as action-adventure games go, none of these would have been... this wouldn't have been my pick, none of these 5. I think I probably would have given I mean, it maybe Ratchet, but I think I probably would have given it to Returnal here.
Ooh.
Yeah, it didn't even get nominated, but it's close between Ratchet and Clank and Returnal for me. Out of this category for my personal pick. But I think Metroid Dread's going to win this at the awards. So, what's yours? What do you think?
I think there's a very fine chance that Psychonauts 2 might take it.
Okay. I mean, Psychonauts, Ratchet, and Resident Evil are all in the game, the actual overall game of the year category too. So, you know, it's.
But for best action adventure game, for personal, for me,
Yeah.
ooh, I don't know. I can consider it best an action adventure game because it's more like a JRPG than anything. But personally, for me, I would probably put, because the combat in it, I'd say Lost Judgment for me.
Okay. Okay. Moving on. Moving right along.
It's action game.
Yeah, best straight up action game. And maybe that's why Returnal. It's like action adventure or action. I don't know. It's just primarily on combat. So, like, I guess maybe the story counts more in this category and the puzzle solving. And maybe Returnal doesn't fit in that. But whatever.
I think Deathloop's gonna take it, and my personal choice is Far Cry.
Okay, so you think Deathloop's gonna take action?
Mm-hmm.
Who do I think is gonna take this one? I think Returnal's gonna take this one. Fuck it.
Okay.
Because I think they got robbed on the overall award. And I think people feel sorry for it and will vote for it. Period. I think there's a lot of Deathloop like burnout because they overhyped it. Even if it was good, I haven't played it. Obviously, I like Far Cry as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess my personal pick. If Returnal has to be in this category, then I'll switch. I'll take Returnal here, and I'll put Ratchet and Clank on the other one. But I think Returnal will actually win here, and yeah. I definitely think it's between Deathloop and Returnal here, but
oh yeah,
no way Far Cry wins this category. No way.
No.
Back 4 Blood wins this, and no way.
I think Far Cry 6 is a great action game just because of the stupidity of the AI that your chicken causes.
Best VR game.
I can't put an opinion down.
But who do you think is gonna win?
I don't really know. I'll let you go first.
Well, I think it's between Hitman 3 and Resident Evil 4. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 4 here will win. I actually haven't played any of these games because my rule when it comes to VR is it has to be, at least be half price or lower. Because usually these games are very short. And also you can't play VR for more than an hour in one sitting because you just can't. It's just difficult. So I have seen footage for Hitman 3 because I've looked it up several times. And Sniper Elite is exactly what you would think it would be.
Oh yeah, you just shoot the dick.
Gotta shoot them, and watch the bullet go through their little thingies.
Yep.
So who do you think's gonna win this category?
I'm gonna go with a rogue, and I'm gonna say Lone Echo 2.
Okay, that's Ready at Dawn Studios. Next category.
I don't even know what this really means.
Yeah, we'll skip this one.
Because if it's accessibility,
it's for like color blindness and like shit like that.
Yeah, like the only thing I could think that would win in this is probably gonna be Forza.
We'll skip that category. We'll go to best community support.
Ooh, this is actually a good one.
So basically, like ongoing games. Last year, No Man's Sky won this. There's no way it's winning it this year again. I'm going to pick Final Fantasy 14 to win this one.
That's what I chose too.
Okay.
Not only that, because they also have a DLC coming out. Now, the only downfall of Final Fantasy I could see happening is I haven't seen a lot of people play the game that I normally watch because they're just waiting for the new expansion. But I'm more worried about since everyone migrated from WoW basically to Final Fantasy. People said like they've already noticed changes, like in the Reddit forums, stuff like that, like where it used to be actually helpful posts to basically just full of memes. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like WoW players. So, but I am giving it to Final Fantasy for this one.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it doesn't win. The only
Fortnite bought their way in, so fuck them.
I mean, they should support their game because they're making Apex and Fortnite are making so much money that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, best mobile game. Mobile. I don't play mobile games other than random dice. I play random dice. That's it. That's all I play.
We know Genshin's gonna take it.
You say Genshin's gonna take this one?
Yeah.
I think Pokemon's gonna take this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Pokemon. Phone games for me are I don't like to play anything that eats my phone. So, you know, I tend to stick to very simple, games.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That don't take a lot of resources, so I would never play any of these. So, yeah. So, like, for me, it would be like Sudoku or like Threes or shit like that. Best indie game. Come on, you know you want to vote for 12 minutes.
Not really, no.
What's gonna win this category? Let's see. For debut indie, you picked Valheim, which isn't even on here.
Well, on this,
It's funny that
I'm torn.
Devolver has 3 nominations out of the 5 here.
Mm-hmm. It's either gonna be Kenna or it's gonna be Inscription.
For best indie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Kenna might have a chance here.
Okay. But not in the other category. I didn't pick it in the other category either.
Yeah, because I don't think it's the best debut.
I think games that only come out on one system have a tough time winning these categories.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're like super extremely good. And I don't know if you could call Kenna that. I think Kenna is a very, very solid game though. And I haven't played anything else on here.
I think the awe factor of Kenna might push it over. But then again, there is Inscription. Oof. And you know how card games go.
I mean, Devolver. I think Devolver is going to win this category, but I'm going to vote for Death's Door.
Well, they have a 66.6% chance of winning.
It's 3 out of 5. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to actually pick Death's Door. I'm not going to.
Okay.
And then I have you down for Kenna. And we're going to continue on. Indie titles, shit. I don't play indie titles that often. I really don't get swept up in the whole indie thing. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, outside the traditional publisher system is like a weird like thing to say, especially in today's world where people make games like by themselves and shit because there's so many tools and I don't know.
I really have no personal opinion, like, because I gave the best debut indie to Valheim.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, then my personal opinion would probably still be Valheim.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. And the only game I played on this list, period, would be Kenna. And
Because I found it very unique. I mean, the graphics aren't the fucking greatest, but holy fuck, that game was like satisfying.
mm-hmm. Yeah, super
So-
popular with many people who like it.
Oh yeah, it's a survival game, but it's not like most survival games. You know how you can either starve or get thirsty,
Mhm.
and a lot of those. Drinking and eating just gives you buffs. That's it. Mind you, you want to drink and eat anyway, so you can, have more hit points and whatnot, but that's it.
Best ongoing game. We got COD, it's in there. Again, Final Fantasy Online. Fortnite.
My gut is telling me don't let Fortnite win.
And don't let Fortnite win. It won last year.
I know.
Fortnite won.
And I can't, and I honestly can't give it to Genshin either. But that's just my own personal take. I'm sorry, Leames and Flat, if you're listening to this at a later date.
Who do you think's gonna win this category?
Currently,
Like who's gonna like win it at the?
it's either gonna be the shooters or it's gonna be Final Fantasy.
Well, that doesn't.
And I honestly think right now, what is probably going to win? It's between Final Fantasy Online and Warzone. And the reason I say Warzone is because they're retiring their map and they're introducing the new map very soon. So like sometime this month, the old map is gone forever. But I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
Just because I prefer this kind of game over the other.
Okay. I think Genshin wins this category.
Okay. It probably is going to too. Also,
my favorite ongoing game.
Mhm. What's your favorite ongoing game? It's
Well-
gonna be 2K.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's like there's no.
They literally,
There's like-
they literally release new shit for that game every single day. So, let's skip games for impact. Let's skip best performance because that's in that game. And let's go to best audio design.
Well, the best performance, I'm automatically just gonna give it to Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, it's not a game. Skip it.
I know it's not a game, but still, he's in a game. They're all in a game. Best audio design. Ooh. See, I know which one you're gonna choose. I think you're gonna choose Returnal.
That's my pick.
For me, I'm choosing Forza.
I mean, Returnal, like, if you're wearing headphones,
Yeah.
Returnal is like, I can't really describe it until you play it. Like, you can feel like when it's raining, it's like the haptics combined with the audio, and haptics are basically just audio waves, but in a motor. uh, that sensation, like literally, like the other thing that they do is as you progress through the level, the music gets louder and louder,
Mm-hmm.
and like when you get close to the boss, it's like at its loudest. So it like ramps up the intensity, and they just do it like gradually. So it's kind of like when the lights come on, like slowly, you don't really recognize it until you look up and you realize everything's lit up.
Okay.
So like, I think Returnal deserves to win this. I think it will win as well. So what's your pick?
Forza.
Forza. Yeah, I'm just like Forza doesn't like the big difference between 4 and 5 to me is not a big difference. But then again, I don't, it's not on the Sony platform, and Sony has the 3D audio and all that shit. And I don't play Forza, like I play it on PC, and so it's like pretty generic sound. I mean, it sounds cool. It's fucking cars and shit, but Ratchet and Clank kind of had pretty good sound. Like, I don't know, it's cartoony, so it's not like you don't like feel the impact of the sound like you do in Returnal when like you shoot something and it blows up like with your like little ray gun or whatever.
Yeah.
And the shotgun, like the fact that you have that like double pull thing on the adaptive trigger. Maybe that is like that combined with the sound is like the the design that I'm kind of impressed with. But okay, best score in music. This is just like songs and shit, right?
Yeah. Best sound inclusive of score, original song, and/or licensed soundtrack, and I'm giving it to fucking Marvel.
You think Marvel's gonna win this?
It's because of the licensed soundtrack. Fuck yes, it's all 80s majesty. Majestic goodness.
I think Nier's gonna win this.
Okay.
I haven't played it, so I can't. Other than I played Nier Automata, and that should have won the year it came out. It got robbed. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 took it, and it shouldn't have. I don't know. I mean, while Marvel's licensed soundtrack is amazing, it's like those weren't written for the game specifically.
Mm-hmm. But it says best score music, and the definition on the thing says for or licensed soundtrack. Yeah. Now they did have some original rock in that thing as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't any good.
No.
It's at the beginning.
It was very 80s.
Skip it. Cyberpunk's gonna win, dude.
Mm-hmm. Best art direction.
My personal pick for score and music, like out of the games that I played.
Well, if it's gonna be like that,
I don't know. I don't know what I would pick. I definitely wouldn't pick any of these.
Not a personal choice.
Like what game? I'm trying to think what game I got into the music the most. I mean, I would say Guardians, but it's like after about 5 or 6 of those huddle ups, like I was done with it. I didn't care anymore. I don't know why. Just it didn't hit with me as hard. And again, I didn't play any of the big RPGs this year. So
There also score was pretty decent if you didn't do huddles.
If you didn't do huddles,
They had orchestra music in the background.
I don't remember it, so it's not memorable at all.
If I was gonna make a personal choice, just because I'm actually now playing it this year, even though the game technically came out last year, I'm torn for personal choice between the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima,
Oh yeah,
Iki Island,
mm-hmm.
and also Death Stranding.
Oh man, Death Stranding is so good.
The music in that game is so good.
Yeah, it's good to the point where you're like, I wish you would play more often.
Yeah.
You actually say that when you're playing that game. It's crazy.
Yeah, you do.
But that game didn't come out this year, so. But I agree with you. Like, that game definitely deserves, if any category, Death Stranding deserves a nod.
Even Ghost of Tsushima's DLC, the Iki Island music, was really good because it's just the Ghost of Tsushima music
that's
too.
That's another thing where the haptics when you're playing Death Stranding make a difference.
Oh yeah.
When you're walking around and the music starts to go and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna just chill out for a minute.
It just zones you out. Next thing you know, you've been walking for like 2 hours and you're like, fuck, what happened?
Yeah, out of all the games I played this year, that one definitely had the most impact musically. But it didn't count for this year, so. But I count it because, goddamn, that's the director's cut.
There we go. Yeah. We'll say honorable mentions: director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding.
All right, best art direction. We got some weird games here.
Mm-hmm.
We have an artsy one that actually.
See, I'm torn between two, and that's one is because fuck you, Pixar, you make me too emotional. So anytime I see graphics quality that good, and the other is Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm. For winning or for your personal pick?
I want to say winning is going to be Ratchet.
Okay.
Because the art direction is very pretty, especially when you warp between worlds.
Sure.
But since I never played the game, best art direction on a personal
Again, I think
game.
Returnal got robbed here. Just because of its design, like how everything is kind of like Matrixy and spooky. I think Deathloop's gonna win this category though. I would pick.
I can see that.
I would pick Returnal if I had to pick, but I love how Kennen looks. But again, I just don't think anyone's gonna vote for Kennen. I don't know. I love how it looks. By the way, it's beautiful. Ratchet and Clank is fidelity wise is amazing. But it's pretty generic. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
It definitely has like a lot of shit going on though. Environments and like it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. It's just like it's kind of cartoony generic at this point compared to like Deathloop that has like a really a really specific art style. I guess Psychonauts kind of does too, but I mean it's the second in a series, so you know you kind of get used to it. I think that's probably the same as Ratchet and Clank. You're kind of used to it. Kena is, you know, it's Pixar. It's very pleasing. You know what I mean? It's like kind of safe in a way. I don't know. Playing that game was like I didn't feel like it was like super artsy. But but I love how it looks. If I was voting out of these 5, I would vote for Kenneth. But it's like I don't know how hard it is to make shit look like that. But it seems like not a lot of studios can make it happen. You know what I mean? Like get that pure animation style look to it. Because I'm just surprised there aren't more games that like are all cute like that. You know what I mean? Like, just make a bunch of cute ass games, man. You gotta get more girls and younger kids to play. It's like not everything has to be fucking, you know, gritty, yeah, or super realistic,
dark.
Best narrative. Oh man. Storytelling. This is your jam, man. This is where this is where you come alive.
This is where I say Lost Judgment.
Well, yeah, Lost Judgment. Is it on here?
This is where, no, it's not on here. It's my just personal choice. Yeah. This is where it's just like I will just get lost in that game. But best
like
narrative.
Just straight up storytelling, right? Like, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is basically a movie with a few combat sections.
Especially if you know the comic book franchise, I'm assuming that they hit a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah, it's like they definitely did it right. No doubt. Like, that's the best part of the game. Of that game.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I
don't understand why Psychonauts is in here. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't see that as like a heavy story game for some reason. The same thing with Deathloop. It's like, oh, you're in a time loop and like you have to kill people. Maybe I'm missing something there.
Maybe there is a story to it. I don't know.
I didn't play it, so it's kind of...
Nor did I. Even though I could play Psychonauts too, because I do have Game Pass. Best narrative.
I'm gonna vote for who I hope wins, but it's also not my personal pick. But it's who I hope wins out of these 5, and that's It Takes Two.
See, I'm actually hoping for Marvel to win this one.
Okay. But do you think it's going to? Is that your pick?
That's my pick that I'm choosing. But personal choice, because it's not in here, the hope would always be Lost Judgment.
my personal choice would be again, I know it's DLC, but that Final Fantasy, dude, the end. Oh my god, dude, the end of that. I stayed up all fucking night to play that.
I know you beat it in a sitting, dude.
I sat down and I played and played and played, and when I got to the end, you'd think I'd be kind of tired, and I was like, my eyes got super wide, and I was like, holy shit, they are fucking doing it. They're going to show some more shit. And it was so fucking good. And it was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, I'll just wait till the next one comes out. Because I just love those characters. And it's like, oh, they brought in Yuffie. And then they brought in Fort Condor, and it's like, it wasn't cheesy. It was like, oh, it's Fort Condor. Like, yeah, it makes sense. And then, like, all of the characters from the base game, because of where they put Yuffie in the storyline, we're all there. We're all in the mix. And it's like it was just amazing. But again, it's not a standalone game; it's DLC, so it's like can't be nominated, right? But the reason I hope It Takes Two wins, and I think it will, is because it's super hard to write a narrative that involves two players.
Oh yeah, it's fucking hard as shit, especially when it has to.
I mean that.
Not only that, like there's consequences in the game, like the little mini games. If you win or lose it, the conversation changes completely between the two.
Yeah, that first. Just think about the first level of that game where you're literally climbing a fucking vacuum cleaner, and it's like your first introduction to the characters, and they're giving you tools where you're forced to work together, but you don't, like, I don't know. It's just really hard to tell a story where two people are playing the game together. Because you and I have played a lot of co-op games, and usually they're just like, oh, you just join up and then you go like destroy bases together. There's really no, like, other than the time you killed me in Gears, there's really no consequences to like. Because most of Gears is like not like that. It's just you playing with your friend, going through like bases and shit and clearing them out.
And then I just flat out just like shoot you.
But like It Takes Two, like every single level is like, oh, like there's a hammer and nail level, right? Where like you're the hammer and I'm the nail. And like it tells the story. Like, dude, that scene where you murder that fucking
the princess,
the bear or whatever,
the queen elephant.
Yeah, the queen elephant. Yeah, you murder it. That scene is so fucking crazy.
It's fucked up.
It's like, how did they come up with that? Like, and then
we know how we came up with it. The dude says, "Fuck the Oscars." It's French accent.
But he's hit multiple times, right? He hit with Brothers. He hit with A Way Out, and then he's got this one, and it's just like.
And A Way Out, I also murdered you. Woo!
It's like, but to tell that kind of story, how many games do that? How many games? How many games like, okay, you play Avengers, you're playing with your friend, but yeah, it's like, you know, you're playing Far Cry. It's like you're playing with your friend, but like, there's no story impact. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, so, I don't know. I just think it's really hard to tell that story. And then it's like, okay, maybe it's kind of tropey, you know, the whole divorce thing. But again, it makes sense. It makes so much sense in all the level designs and how it comes together that it's like kind of, I don't know.
Well, the next two categories should be very quick then, considering how our conversation has been going.
Sure, best game direction.
Yeah, the studios need to look at what he's doing.
I think, you know, definitely in the co-op genre. That he's been hitting it, like, he's been hitting it out of the park, like.
Oh yeah.
With that specific genre. I mean, he literally made it a genre. Like, it's not really a genre. It's like, oh yeah, you can play this game co-op, but it's not really a genre. But like, his games are like specifically dedicated to it, you know. But yeah, all right. So best game direction is like, fuck it, you know, like the director, like the overall vision is kind of how I see this category. It's like they had a vision and they executed it, right?
And that's why I'm giving it to It Takes Two. I think should win this one.
Okay, and you think it will? You think the Game Awards will give it to It Takes Two?
I hope so.
Again, I want
because Returnal is
PS5 only. Like,
it's PS5 only, but it's
how many people?
But it's
have played
just
Returnal?
It's just another.
Less than 1 million people have played Returnal. It's
true.
barely sold 1 million copies. So it's like out of all these games, it's like sold way less than all of these. Ratchet and
All
Clank's in
right.
the same boat, but Ratchet and Clank is probably 3 times what Returnal sold. And again, it's PS5 only, and I don't see how those games win.
Well, and I also
scenario.
see, but I also see Ratchet and Clank as just like, oh look, this is what our PS5 can do. You know, that's how I see that.
But I don't see it as like, okay, like what's their overall vision? The warping between worlds. Like, is that a big like innovation in game direction? I don't know.
The instantaneous warping between worlds.
Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely that's the innovative part of it. But
yeah.
it's not like games haven't done that before, just not on the
Oh
scale,
no.
not on the same scale.
But I want to say best game direction is definitely It Takes Two, even for a personal choice. Because that game, we
It's
played that back in
it's
March.
definitely like, what the fuck? Like, they just said fuck it. They were just like, fuck it, we're gonna like put all this shit in one game.
Yeah,
And
and like I said,
the vision, is it innovative? Yeah, I think so. It's like,
mm-hmm.
we're just gonna have fun with it type situation.
Which a lot of games sort of lose out on too, because they try, like you said earlier, they try to make games either too realistic or too gritty or too
Just too
whatever.
formulaic, right? It's like,
But
oh,
It Takes Two was just silly and fun.
mm-hmm. That was the vision. That's what he wanted it. That's what he
Oh
wanted.
yeah.
He wanted it to be like not high stakes, but kind of silly, um, with a serious backdrop, but still silly enough for you not to get like too wrapped up. Returnal definitely has a vision as well. It's like, fuck you, start over, right?
It's very roguelike.
Yeah, it's like the biggest Returnal, it's like the biggest fuck you, start over game there is, right, of 2021, which is a very popular genre now.
Oh yeah.
Deathloop is the same way, right? Technically, fuck you,
I
start over.
think so. Yeah, but the thing is with Deathloop is that you gain abilities and skills along the way, I think.
Sure, you don't completely lose everything. You don't in Returnal either. There's certain things that carry over between runs, but
Okay.
Ratchet and Clank is just your sure traditional, start to finish game, and
Yeah.
it has that warping world thing. And we're not talking about Psychonauts 2 at all. I just don't think there's enough people who've played that game that would vote for it. I think there's also some death.
Oh, don't jinx it, dude. Watch now, fucking Psychonauts just sweep the whole show.
I'm gonna say It Takes Two wins this. So I have them down for narrative and direction, which is like, oh shit. Like if they don't win, like I'm gonna be super salty. I just don't get how Returnal or Ratchet, as much as I think Returnal is a great directed game, like they did exactly what they wanted to do. I just like only less than 1 million people played the game, so like now you're counting on like all the game journalists voting for it here, and I just don't think that's gonna happen. The final category, we've reached it. It's the GOTY, baby.
The GOTY. And based on our conversation, everyone should be able to tell out of Deathloop, Metroid, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and It Takes Two, which one we hope actually wins. If you haven't been listening to our podcast, well then, fuck you. I'm messing. But yeah, I really hope on this list, Game of the Year goes to It Takes Two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even count Metroid Dread as an actual game. It feels like it's a game they put out just because they had to delay their actual real Metroid game.
Ooh, shots fired.
I saw it! It's just a fucking side scroller where you run away from a robot! That's it!
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of backtracking. It's classic Metroid.
Yeah. But instead of releasing the new Metroid, it got delayed. And so it felt like they just released this one. Which is probably what they're planning to do anyways. But it feels more like, hey, we were going to release this for like mobile or something like that, you know? But instead put it on that.
And like I said before, like if I had to rank my best experiences of the year, like none of these, except for It Takes Two, would be on my list. I mean, I would throw Ghost of Tsushima DLC on there. I would throw Final Fantasy DLC on. Like it's almost like the year of the DLC and the 8 out of 10 games. You know, 2021.
Like,
I don't think It Takes Two is like the greatest game. Like,
no.
I just think out of this list, like,
out of this list, it's the one that I hope wins. For me, my personal game of the year, you should be able to know by how I was talking about it, is easily Lost Judgment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't
for my
get
personal
any
choice,
nominations.
and didn't get nominated at all.
I don't think It Takes Two will win this though. I don't know how it could.
Well, I'm hoping, and I'm choosing It Takes Two.
Let's see. I had Metroid winning for adventure game, and for action game I had Returnal, which isn't even on this list. And then
if I could see any game winning this, out of if it's not It Takes Two, for some reason Psychonauts has been listed a lot, so there's a chance that might win because it's like in like a lot of categories.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a lot of categories. But I could see, out of the hype of Resident Evil Village from earlier this year, pushing it along.
I'm gonna make my pick based solely on Metacritic for this. Because I'm a dumbass. Alright?
Okay, let's go to Metacritic.
So first off, let's go Deathloop. It's an 88 with a 6.3 user score. So 63 and 88. Okay?
Okay.
It Takes Two is also an 88. 89 on PS4, but it is a 92 user score. So
okay,
it's higher than Deathloop. So right now It Takes Two is winning. Oops. It's 92. Let me see on PS4 because there's probably more. 90. So 89 on PS4, 90 user score, and then for Xbox, It Takes Two. And again, Deathloop is just a PlayStation game, so I don't think it was going to win anyways. But It Takes Two's 89.85 on Xbox. This Xbox, they don't know what they're fucking doing. Metroid Dread, again, only a Switch game, is at 88.87.
8.
Yep, it's close, but doesn't overtake It Takes Two. And again, it's only on Nintendo. And then Psychonauts, which is on all platforms, is
89 on PC and 87 on Xbox and 87 on PlayStation.
It's
and then 91 on Xbox.
But the user score is like a 60 something. Let's see what Xbox user score is. 76. So it doesn't beat It Takes Two either. So all you got left is, again, Ratchet and Clank, which is only a PS5 game. It's 88.86, so it's not higher than It Takes Two. on Metacritic either. It's close. It's close. So Resident Evil Village. Is it only a PlayStation game? No. Let's go. It's only an.
It's on PC also.
It's only an 85, 83, 81, and its user score is 85.
85.
So it's close. These are all really close on Metacritic. But if you take the overall Metacritic score, It Takes Two is the highest on Metacritic. So I'm gonna go with It Takes Two just because of that. And I also want to. I did not look that up ahead of time, by the way. I just fucking did that off the cuff because I was curious. I was kind of curious, like, what the Metacritics were for all these games. They're all around 88, 89. So, although the user score for Deathloop is pretty low. It's like 60 something. So, I don't think it's as popular with the overall players as it is with the critics. So,
okay.
There you go. Let's just see who the jury is. These are some of the jurors, right? You got Game Ranks is on there, Game Informer, Giant Bomb,
Easy Allies,
Easy Allies, IGN. These are some of the voters. So they also
LA Times is in here.
What good games? They don't even hardly have any viewers. Inverse.
I'm talking
PC Gamer Magazine.
Why is Polygon in here? I don't even know what's good games is.
Yeah, they don't have very many viewers.
Okay, global. Oh, keep scrolling down. Wow.
Yep.
Whoa.
So all these places get like kind of a vote, and so it's like if you watch any of these outlets, like Easy Allies, for example, I watch them, and I watch Game Informer, and I watch Kind of Funny, and it's like if you ever watch them, it's like you kind of know who they're gonna vote for already. And I'll tell you right now, we picked It Takes Two across most of those last few categories, and like they aren't gonna pick that. I'll tell you right now. Some of them are gonna pick Deathloop, and some of them are gonna pick Nintendo always, and some of them are gonna pick Resident Evil. And so I have no clue what Easy Allies is really gonna pick, because
they're torn.
They give 8 out of 10s to everything these days, so they don't have like anything that's really standout-ish. But anyways, those are the picks. I have saved them for posterity, so we will be able to come back after the show and take a look at what kind of bullshittery happened as far as game announcements, as well as our predictions and how close we were, because we know I'm gonna get every single one wrong. I already know. So PS5, or I should say games that are coming out soon. Anything on your radar, or is it too far away?
Isn't there a game coming out in December?
Are you super hyped for
I don't remember if there's any games coming out this month.
Endwalker?
I'm not getting that. What games are coming out this month?
Like February is basically going to be like, I think, my bank account's going to explode in February of 2022. Because there's a whole bunch of shit coming out. There's like Dying Light 2 and Sifu, and there's like, there's Destiny 2 new shit. Not that I'm interested in that, but there's Elden Ring, and Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, I know what game I might try, but I'm not gonna spend money on it. But since I have Game Pass, I just want to try the campaign out for Halo, and that's about it. But it's not really on my radar. It's just the most current thing coming out.
And then that weird Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy game is coming out in March. And
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 7 and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Just like a lot of weird shit. But then on top of that, there's like a big list of games like in the backlog for like shit that I just missed out on. Like Lost Judgment is one. I have to finish Judgment first before I buy Lost Judgment.
You should.
There's obviously... I'm glad that a lot of people are going to get to play Godfall. I actually think Godfall is a better game than... I obviously don't think it's a $70 game. Fuck that. But it's definitely...
If only we knew... Like 3 days after we fucking buy the game, if we find out who's coming out for free. You sons of bitches!
Yeah, fuck you. I paid money for that. I paid $30-something for that game.
It was $30, but it came with everything. So
I got my money's worth. I played the shit out of it. So, but I'm glad other people are going to get to play them. I might hop on if some other people want to play, because I enjoy that game. And I was playing with randos at the end, and I was still enjoying it, which is rare. Like, playing with randos is fucking horrible.
I know.
Shout out to fucking dude that got me to floor 20 of the tower for my achievement. Dude who I made fun of and still got me there.
Dude who you kept on bitching about because he kept on choosing spirit instead of vitality.
Mm-hmm. He wanted spirit, baby. He had lots of spirit. And we got to floor 20.
That spirit's got you to 20, man, because it was just like, you need spirit, you don't need vitality. You need spirit, you need the heart of a warrior.
But you know, as far as like, yeah, it's like, you know, the backlogs for the games, like, it's kind of like, well, what games have I missed out on because I just, like, didn't buy them? You know what I mean? Like, Resident Evil. Like, do I want to play that? I don't know. I should, honestly...
I hear Resident Evil Village isn't actually as scary as the previous ones. And some of the shit's actually earlier. I mean, easier, I guess.
Right, yeah. But, like, there's other things like, I mean, I don't think I really want to play Back for Blood. But it's like, okay, like, I passed on, what are some other games I passed on? 20 Bunnies? Just kidding. I'm kidding. I clicked on the link and it took me to 20 Bunnies. But
you passed on what is it? Evil versus Hentai.
Mm-hmm. Well, like Aliens Fireteam, you know, it's like shit. I don't want to pay for that, but it's like if I got a chance to play it, I probably would. Tales from Arise, Scarlet Nexus are two big ass RPGs that I just like passed on. Sackboy is another one. I was just like, fuck it. I don't want to pay for that because I keep thinking it's going to be free on Plus and then Godfall is free first. And it's like, God damn.
You're like, son of a bitch. And you know, next time it goes on sale, we're going to see it go back on sale again for like 20 or $30 again. And we're going to buy the thing. And then like 2 months later, it's going to be free. Because that game might be interesting.
Yeah, even Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, which like got shitty reviews, like I still, even though
that came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it came out a while ago. It got shitty reviews, and it's like I watch it and I'm like, if it comes down to like $15. Like I might get it, but it's like never is. Look at there's your. And I bought Demon Souls. I finally broke down and bought Demon Souls, and it's like there are minutes, hours in that game where I'm like, fuck this game, no. And then there are other moments where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna push through it. Diablo 2, for example, is another one where it's like, yeah, you know, they have a Eternal collection where it's like you get 2 and 3, like the Prime Evil collection or something like that. It's like if that ever drops like super low, it's like, okay, that would be cool to have.
A game I'm actually looking forward to coming out. I know you're not excited for it, but that's Sifu.
Yeah, no, that's in February too. Yeah,
that's coming out in February. The more I found out about it, the more interesting it is. Like, you only get a limited a certain amount of times before it's like a game over, and then you have to like. Well, it is a roguelike, but the roguelike is you get so many lives, and each time you die, you come back older. But if you die too many times, then it's GG. You got to start back over from the very beginning.
Well, I mean, Gran Turismo 7, you know, it's another game I won't buy, like, but I'll keep an eye on it,
Didn't you already mentioned
Hitman 3 is another one where it's like
that was actually a fun game because what I've played of it.
Hot Wheels Unleashed is totally on my radar.
I took a fish and I threw it at people and it killed them. That was what Hitman 3 for me was so far. And if you get the deluxe version of Hitman 3, which if they'll probably ever put it on sale, you get Hitman 1 and 2 and all their DLC.
Jet the Far Shore is another one that just passed by, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm not getting that until it's super cheap. Kenna I bought because I was like, fuck it. I have to buy this. And I finished it. So.
Oh, yeah.
God, that game's a bitch, though. Holy crap. Lost Judgment at passed. Again, I got to finish Judgment, but I will totally buy Lost Judgment at some point.
Fuck you, I know a game that.
Fuck you.
I'm waiting for them to fix more of Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm holding off on that. What other games are there?
Yeah, I mean it's like there's a lot out there. Like
there's
Outriders,
there's a lot of backlog.
Had a new DLC recently, and they gave it away for free. And it's like I don't even know if it's worth downloading that game again.
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Like I know a game that came out and I want to try it out, but I don't want to buy it. That's like, from
Biomutant. I want
Biomutant.
Biomutant.
Yeah.
I want it.
Maybe it plays better on console because I didn't really enjoy much of what I did try out on PC. But that's just my own personal take on it. Because I tried it out through EA Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do want to. There's a couple games that I really want to try out just for the single player. I really don't care about the multiplayer too much. But I'm gonna wait for. They have to go like on a deep sell on PC if they ever do. But Call of Duty is notorious for it. It's the Black Ops or Cold War. I just wanted to try the campaign for that one. So, but that's just me. It's like if I could rent it for like just 2 days, I'd just beat it and then just like never play it again. But But yeah, there's a lot of shit on backlog and the fucking play.
Let's see what the editor's choices are. Yeah, Hades. Hades is another game I would play if it got super cheap. It's got to get cheap though, man. It's got to be cheap.
Actually, you should check it. I think it's on Game Pass.
Hades is?
Yeah, I think it is.
Except I want those luscious PlayStation trophies, dude.
Oh, if you want those luscious PlayStation trophies, then you just gotta wait for that game to go on Deep Cell.
It's and I want to play it with my PS5 controller. Not that,
you know,
Sekiro is.
Oh my God! Okay. Remember yesterday I told you like I turned on your stream and I just heard the fucking Transformers theme for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
It was an ad. For Smite, Battleground of the Gods, Transformers.
Stupid.
I'm like, you son of a bitch! This shit was driving me nuts. I was like, why am I hearing Transformer music playing in the background of your shit?
And Persona Royale, for some reason.
Oh, this is free. I'm going through the PlayStation Store on my console, and it shows PS4, Spider-Man Far From Home VR, free.
Yeah, I played that. I played it. I mean, it's not. It's just a movie game. Like, you can swing around and shit. They have this deluxe edition of Persona 5 Royale Deluxe. And I was like, what's in the deluxe? But it's like, not. It's like $20.99. But anyways, that's the podcast. It was a long one. We had to catch up and do basically that's the end of the year shit.
Yeah.
If you like the YouTube version of this, it's mostly going to be for the audio. There's, I have stuff up on my screen, but it's just contextual. It's not really for viewing. But if you like it on YouTube, comment. Just say I liked it or something in the comment. And then it may stay on YouTube and be archived that way. If not, I'm going to go back to Twitch because I just like the way Twitch does things a little bit better. But it's harder to archive things on Twitch because if you're not partnered, your videos disappear after 30 days. So you have to manually transfer it over to YouTube for it to stay around. But if you do it straight on YouTube, it's just there, and you can also have the chat replay and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting. So if you liked it, comment. Just say
and throw a like, subscribe, hit the little bell.
I don't care if you subscribe. I don't give a shit. My comment is I like ramen. Gotcha. But actually comment, I think is best for me, because it's like if I see thumbs up, that's fine as well. And we'll just continue the podcast. If there's something you'd like to see on the podcast specifically, ask for that too as well. And let's go to the forums real quick. I was talking about the forums earlier, and there's a forum, and I'm going to read from it because this is trolling the forums right now. It's where we're at. This is part of the podcast where I troll the forums because it's my favorite thing to do. And this topic is this is the title of the topic.
Okay.
Where's it at? Oh, it disappeared. I guess maybe it got deleted. Oh wow, it got deleted. So never mind. I can't troll it. It was very trolly. It was a very trolly topic. So we'll go to this one instead. Godfall on PlayStation Plus is an absolute joke. Godfall Challenger Edition is aka a co-op demo with no campaign. They can't even give us full games anymore. How do you guys feel about this? And we go forwards, and at one point we get into the forum, and it says, "Free is a great price for a game." I like that comment. And then, of course, somebody will say, some argue that paying for PS Plus means it's not free. True. True that. Not free. $40 for the whole year. And, of course, I posted in there and said, you know, I played the full version of Godfall, including the DLC. When you add it as a PlayStation Plus game in its base game form, it doesn't make any sense and would have sucked for matchmaking purposes, as some people would not have the DLC, and that's actually the best content. Leveling is completely arbitrary, and the story in the game, in quotes, is not worth, you know, it's not worth playing. Leveling just to level is not good, and the fact that matchmaking is completely locked out until you hit max level is going to keep a lot of people from that if they don't have a way to jump in right away. This solution is a much better option, as almost everybody who has Plus will get to play it in its multiplayer form, which is really where the game strength lies. If you're a reactionary and you don't see beyond press releases and don't ask questions, and then blow your top at a free game, you're part of the problem. And it says, why are they still selling the full version on the store then? Which is, yeah, there's an obvious answer to that, but yeah. So then there's a bunch of questions, and I said, just watch someone play Godfall on YouTube to answer your own questions about the game. Because if I was to tell you that a game is much better after you've beaten the entire story, your standard reaction would be like, "But isn't the story the game?" Right? And for the most part, I would agree with you and say, yeah, the story's the game, but not in this case. In this case, the story is just a hub where you talk to one or two people and they tell you what mission is coming next.
You literally just talk to two people.
Yeah. And then you go back out into the world, and all the worlds and all the bosses and all the enemies are all in the end game anyways. You can refight all the boss fights. You can redo all of the worlds. You can go in the tower. You can... Everything is open in the end game. There's no restrictions as far as like, oh, I missed a boss fight, or oh, I missed an enemy type, or zone, or whatever. Nope. And I know it sounds like that's, well, then why is there even a story in the game? Exactly. that is exactly the point. That is why that game got hammered in reviews, because the story is so generic, and it's just like, go fight some dudes, and then like you beat it, and then they tell you to go fight some more dudes, and it's like, if you need a reason to go fight some dudes in Godfall beyond like some person telling you to go fight some dudes, it's like, Kind of reminds me of the original Destiny. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like most of the maps were just like you go to the hub and they're just like, go
Yep.
fight some more dudes. And you're like, okay, let's go fight some more dudes. And then, like, no one complained about that. So,
No, because it was Bungie and it was beloved, even though technically it was flawed. I mean, it's exactly the same with fucking Destiny 2.
I mean, people are playing Halo and they don't need a reason to go fight some dudes. When you turn on Battlefield, you don't even have a campaign, and you don't need a reason to go fight some dudes.
I turn on Battlefield so I can get shot by a bunch of
12-year-olds.
Steroid-induced 12-year-olds.
Steroid-induced 12-year-olds?
Dude, some of this... Oh my god. That game... As fun as I have in it, there is a lot of shit they need to fix in that too. Because it's just like...
Joe had like an hour-and-a-half review of it.
Oh, I see it right here, and I just want to watch the opening part of it, but I'll check it out later.
It's not a standard opening, though. Well, yeah,
well, here's the thing. I saw his angry rant on Battlefield.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he cried. And I'm like, why are you crying, dude?
Because he loves that game, dude. That's his jam.
You should have... Literally, he should have known that this was most likely going to happen, because every game he's reviewed in the last, like, 3 years, he's hated. And they're from franchises he loves. Like, for example, he bitches about Call of Duty, yet all he streams is Call of Duty. So, that's
I mean, he plays
what
a lot
is.
of it, but and being passionate, you know, like about, you know, a game that you like and criticizing it is normal. Like, that's normal. If you're spending 100 hours in a game, like, I would expect you to have a strong opinion.
Actually, let's see how long I have put so far into Battlefield. Turning on Origin. The one time I actually do want it to turn on, and it's like, I'm gonna be slow. It says I have 31 hours played.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, I think it's a fair amount.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna put, I'd say once you hit the 50-hour mark in a game, you probably have a strong opinion of it, and that is good. That's good for the game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if crying about it is legitimate, but
I don't think it is legitimate, because
I personally, my favorite video game genre of all time is sports. And
so
sports games have gone in the shitter every year for so many years that I literally have no place to go for sports games anymore, other than like to play something that's absolutely riddled with fucking loot boxes. You know? And it's like, I fucking hate it. But like, I don't know where to go to outlet that, right? Because I could talk to someone till I'm blue in the face who buys packs in 2K that it's making the game worse, and they would just laugh at me. You know, they wouldn't care. They don't care. And even if only 1 out of every 100 people buys packs in a sports or buys something in a video game, additionally on top of the game itself, you know, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough for them to continue to make it, because for all the squawking that people do, it's like most of the people don't spend money on games. Like, I've heard people who are like the most critical, you know, of games, and then you see their libraries and you're like, you've never bought a game at full price ever once. I've seen your library, and it's like you've got like the $4 version of Skyrim, like 4 years after it launched. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
and
I
there's
know
nothing
exactly
wrong
what you
with
mean.
that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not willing to put $60 or $70 up front, then on day for a launch at least launch month game, if not launch day, then how do you expect these companies or people that make games to not, you know, have their games with microtransactions? And then you look at stuff like Game Pass, and it's like Game Pass, I love Game Pass. I get Game Pass day one. I get all this shit, and it's like, yeah, you get Forza, and Forza's an excellent game, but again, Forza is riddled with extra transactions. Halo is riddled with extra transactions. Age of Empires is riddled with extra transactions. It's not they yes, Game Pass is there, and it's an excellent value, but in order for them to give you that value, they have to build these systems into the games, and those systems will always be there as long as the value is there, because 99 out of 100 people aren't spending money on Forza. They're just buying Game Pass. And then there's that one dude who has like every car in the game, right? And that dude is basically propping up everyone else to basically get the game for a few dollars. And in order to enjoy that, you have to deal with that. Whereas in the PlayStation side, it's like, you want Kenna? That'll be $40, please. You want Returnal? That'll be $70, please. Like there's no transactions in Returnal. It's like you just buy it and you play it. And it's like, but that game will not sell more than, I'll say, 2.5 million copies at the most. And
Yeah.
that's an excellent game that even when it's on sale, it's a tough game to buy straight up, because if it was on a subscription, you would download it and try it, no doubt. But that studio just doesn't have any other ways of pulling income other than a straight sale. So one, their game has to be better, but also two, um, they don't have any systems in their game that are like super grindy or like fucking weird in order to get you to open the store. So, and a lot of people are like, what about Ubisoft? And I'm like, yeah, Ubisoft has a store in every single game that they make, and that shit ruins the game. The games they make. Those decisions that they make when they're sitting at that table figuring out what to put in that store ruin the game. But then again, nobody wants to pay full. Very few people are going to pay full price for a Ubisoft game on launch. It just doesn't happen anymore. So I have a poll up. I don't know if I just leave this running, and will this be on the video forever? I don't know how that works. I'm gonna try it though. YouTube. This is a good thing. Is it not? This gaming podcast will live forever. Intro. Your
Uh,
predictions for Game of the Year 2021 will live forever. How do you feel about that? I'm just gonna
eh.
I'm just gonna end broadcast and cut you off.
Well, I think about all this other kind of stuff and all that other kind of stuff and end the fucking podcast already.